Hello, Hadaka Guy here. Today I would like to show you guys how to make the perfect batch of Jiffy Pop Popcorn. This summer we were camping in the van and I popped a batch of Jiffy Pop while we were at camp one evening, and my wife took a picture and posted it on a few of the van groups, and some of the comments were really good. A lot of comments saying that it was witchcraft, had to be some kind of magic, and quite a few comments asking how I popped a batch without any burnt kernels on an open propane stove. So today we're going to pop a batch here and I'll show you my couple quick tips, and hopefully you guys can pop a perfect batch of Jiffy Pop as well. So with that being said, let's jump right into it. Okay, to start off with here, we will first take a quick look at the Jiffy Pop itself. This is the world famous Jiffy Pop Popcorn. Basically, if you haven't seen this before, it's just in a foil pan. It's got a cardboard top here that will open here in just a second, and then it's got some foil inside, and when the popcorn pops, it just pops out into a big foil ball of popcorn. It's a lot of fun to cook. Kids love cooking this around camp. It says right here on the front, as much fun to make as it is to eat. I'm not sure about that. I think I've tasted better popcorn before, but it is a lot of fun to make, and the kids really like it. Show you a close-up view here. To open it, you just take your finger, pop right there, and then just kind of carefully tear this foil around the edge, and the foil pops off. And what you're left with is the foil lining inside. You can see there's a little hole here in the middle for the steam to come out, and the foil is twisted. So as the popcorn starts to pop and it starts to expand, it just untwists and becomes a nice big ball. A couple things on cooking this. You don't want to use too much heat. I'll be using a small butane stove here. It's a cheap stove off of Amazon. I'll probably do a review on it a little later. I think it was like 20 bucks. We use this quite a bit. So to start making the batch, just turn the stove on. You don't want to have the stove too hot, so kind of a medium heat. And then the other thing, as soon as you put this on the stove, you want to keep it moving. You never want to let this sit without moving it, or you will end up with some burnt kernels as soon as they start to pop. So you'll see when you first start shaking it, you'll hear the kernels rolling around a little bit. As soon as right there it's starting to get a little louder. Doesn't take too long and the oils will liquefy in there. Kernels will start moving around a little bit. Yeah, so there again, the biggest secret of making a batch of Jiffy Pop without any burnt kernels is just to keep it moving. When we get done here, I'll show you a couple other little tips as it starts to pop. But off the start, it's just a matter of keeping the thing moving and not using too much heat. About the time that the steam starts coming out of it, out of that little hole there, you'll start noticing it'll pop pretty quick. As soon as that steam starts blowing out of there pretty good. And usually it's pretty close to popping. It's pretty cold outside today, probably 50 degrees. So it's going to take a little longer than normal. Just a tad more heat. Yeah, so this is a game of patience here. It's a good thing to get the kids doing. When you're cooking a batch, you just tell those kids, hey, got to keep it moving. My son likes to cook it. Got a small little table here, so I'm trying to do this without knocking the fuel canister off. So I've seen several people, you know, make this before, and they'll set it on the stove, not shake it. Almost immediately you'll get burnt kernels as soon as it starts popping. These are pretty cheap. They're about $1.99, $1.98. I think I paid $1.99 for this one at Safeway, and I think they're $1.98 that I've seen at Walmart. It's a couple bucks a piece. They keep pretty well. I usually keep a couple of them in the overhead bin in the van, just like I say, something fun to do once in a while. Doesn't make for the most exciting video. Watching somebody shake a thing of popcorn. Starting to get a little steam out of the vent now. That's a good sign. Getting close. We should start having some kernels popping here, I'd think, pretty soon. Steam's still building. I would probably recommend a little more secure table than this little aluminum fold-out unit, but it's what I had with me in the van. Okay, I'm starting to hear some kernels pop. So now you'll see that dome start to expand. As soon as it starts popping, you really want to keep this moving. You don't want any of those kernels or any of the popcorn to be able to sit there on the flame and burn. The other thing that we want to do, as soon as it starts slowing down a little bit, we want to stop popping before all the kernels are popped. If you try to get every last kernel popped, it'll definitely burn. So it's best to leave some kernels unpopped and end up with a nicer batch of popcorn. Still popping pretty good. I'm going to call that good. The other thing you want to do is keep shaking it. You'll hear kernels still popping a little bit. Keep shaking them till it cools down just slightly, so that all the pop kernels aren't sitting there getting burnt. And that should be it. You can see there that we've got a nice foil ball of popcorn. And then all you got to do is take your knife and cut it open, and we should have a nice ball of perfectly popped Jiffy Pop with not a single burnt kernel. Let's take a taste here. Not too bad. Tastes like Jiffy Pop. So really, that's the only secret. Keep it moving. Keep it shaking a little bit after it's done popping, and stop just a little short of trying to get every last kernel popped. And you'll have the perfect batch of Jiffy Pop popcorn. Hope you liked it, and we'll see you next time. Enjoy your popcorn.